So this is a little tip about how you can use Google Slides to help your students capture something of the generative learning that can go on through a GIS map. So in this particular exercise, what I'm trying to do is to get my students to assemble the various factors that explain the formation of tropical storms, hurricanes and typhoons and cyclones. And I've got this GIS map set up, which shows you the tracks of the tropical storms in 2017-18. And one of the factors, of course, that explains that is temperature. And this being a GIS map, of course, you can pull on the temperature layer and you can turn that layer on and off, and you can change the transparency of the layer, and you can get them to relate that temperature pattern to the formation. And they can see that the formation of the tropical storms is taking place in these warm oceans. Now, the ability for you to turn that layer on and off, and for it not to be on at first, and get them to draw on their prior knowledge and then give them the clues that they need, is an important part of the generative process that goes on in using a GIS like that. But how then do we get the students to capture something like this? How can we get them to have a takeaway from it that they can refer to later? Well, this is where my digital slides in Google Slides, the digital jotter, comes in. What I've done is set up here a series of templates that our students are working through. Each of them has a slide that they're working on, and I can see it here, the work that they're doing. And what they're able to do then is to add in some annotation on top of this to start with the patterns. But again, just like the GIS map, I don't want this to be revealed in the first instance. I don't want them to see the temperature map. So how can I then reveal that in slides in due course? Well, if I go onto this and I'm clicking on the format options up here and the adjustments option down here, look at what I can do. I can adjust the transparency here with this as well. And when they're first working on it, they'll not see it. But as we start to work our way through with the GIS map, we can reveal this, and then they can start to put annotation on like this, and they can start to see those locations of where the tropical storms are forming. And that's all because what I had done was to set this up as a layer on top of it to begin with, and I came in and just pulled the transparency right down to 0, so it was there but they couldn't see it. And then when I wanted it revealed, I just do this, and that means that they can then end up with their own digital poster annotated based on the learning that we're going to generate through the GIS map.